Well, this book is actually about a very important part of European constitutional law. It is about the Bill of Rights, which is given to the citizens to protect these citizens against the powers of the European institutions. And we are particularly interested in what is the added value of this charter for the employee, for the worker in an employment relation. Well, the charter is something which you can compare to the Bill of Rights, which you have in your own constitution. This Bill of Rights protects you against the powers exercised by your state, and in the same vein, the charter will protect European citizens against the powers which are being exercised by European institutions. There's also a more positive message to be communicated. To some extent, the Charter sets an horizon, describes a project, a social project also, of the European Union. We have a very broad notion of an employment relation in the book. This can be the employment relation of a civil servant, of a contractual worker in the public service. It can be an employment relation in the private sector. To some extent, it can even apply to independent workers. Now, this book deals with classical rights, okay, which are characteristic for workers as workers. Only workers can constitute trade unions. Only workers have a right to engage in a job. But there are also rights which are given to any kind of citizens, but which might be particularly important for workers at the workplace. I could give an example. For example, the right of a worker to criticize his employer, to have this freedom of expression. Perhaps the right of a worker to express his religious convictions are good examples of civil and political rights, but which even in an employment relation continue to exist and which are extremely relevant.